Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our security webinar. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Shivani Shekhawat, and I'll be your host for today's session. Before we dive into today's exciting presentation, I would like to give a brief introduction to our company and platform. Initialize was founded in 2021 and is headquartered in Atlanta, United States. In India, we have offices in Delhi, Gurgaon, and Kanpur. Initialize.ai is a platform to securely build, run, and monitor cloud native and AI applications. Our, uni- our unified platform enables seamless DevSecOps workflows, whether for web apps, APIs, or AI inference services. Now, let me introduce you to our main presenter today, Vaibhav Verma, our backend SD. And today, he will be walking us through a demo of our latest app security. Next, we have Nikita Hivale and Swagata Datta, who will be facilitating the Q&A session. Nikita Hivale and Swagata Datta are QA and backend folk, has a deep understanding of our app. And finally, joining us for the Q&A portion will be Shweta Tamar. Shweta is our backend SD and will be addressing your questions, providing insights, and sharing valuable information about our app. In today's session, we'll start with a comprehensive demo of our app. So feel free to submit your questions at any time using the chat feature on your screen. Sandesh Manocharya and Ratnesh Moria will be answering in the chat as well. So without further ado, I am excited to hand over the stage to Vaibhav Verma to demonstrate our app. Vaibhav Verma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Shivani. So, hello everyone. Today I'll be walking you through our continuous threat exposure management with Initialize. So, let's get started. Initialize AI is an advanced application that streamlines deployment processes while providing robust security features. It has detailed information on common vulnerabilities exposure to keep you informed about potential threats. Then it has exploit probability. It is one of an initialized AI model that tells you how likely your app is to be exploited in next 30 days. Then we have the scan compliance. It scan application according to our policy, passes or fail application based on compliance with well-defined security standards. Then we have the package version and auto remediation. It track packages with their current version and fixed in versions and automatically fix vulnerability to ensure up-to-date and secure dependencies. Initialize also provide SBOM and CV information in both Cyclone DX and XPDX formats for both comprehensive vulnerability management. And it also has detailed information on license with compliance details to help you adhere to legal and regulatory requirements. Then we have security compliance and CV overview. First, security compliance. It categorizes application as passed or failed based on the scans. From that, you can quickly identify and address non-compliant apps. It accesses compliance based on critical vulnerabilities. Then we have common vulnerabilities and exposures. You can visualize the CVs with a pie chart on the platform, and you can understand vulnerability prevalence and prioritize their remediations. And also, you can evaluate the threat level of the vulnerabilities as well. Then we have the packages available. It initialize track packages, detail versions, and the vulnerabilities, and also ensure secure and up-to-date dependencies of the packages. And we also automate dependency management and update for you. Then we have the application vulnerability table. It is a detailed view of vulnerabilities by application. It includes exploit probabilities, workspace details, and the date on which your app is last scanned. If your application is in the prod environment, the scan happens on the daily basis. And over here, you will find the links to download your SBOM and CVs in two different formats. We have the Cyclone DX and SPDX formats. Then we have the software billing of materials. It is a list of component, libraries, and dependencies in an application. It ensures transparencies and mitigate third-party risks. The daily scans happen to identify vulnerability promptly if your application is in the prod environment. Then we have the common vulnerability and exposure trends. You can monitor vulnerability trends and evaluate mitigation strategies. And then you can prioritize and address your security issues effectively. Then there are some key features of initialize. First, we have the auto remediation and dependency management. Then we have the license information. Then we have the OS level security, which automatically fix for you. Then we have the impacted application and application dashboard. Now let's take a quick demo of the initialized security dashboard. So this is our initialized security dashboard. First of all, we have a drop down for workspaces. If you want to see the details of any specific workspace, you can select any specific workspace. Otherwise, you can keep it as all. If you want to see the application which is running in the prod environment, you can select the prod tab. Otherwise, you can choose the non-prod. Then we have the scan compliance. The scan compliance shows the application which is compliant to our initialized scan policy or not. Right now, I have one application. It doesn't have any critical vulnerability, so it is compliant to our policy. Besides to this, we have this vulnerabilities pie chart. Here you can see the vulnerability count with their severity. Then we have the application vulnerability table. Over here, you will find all your application based on the selected workspaces. Here we have the application name. You can click on the application as well. Then you have the exploit probability. Again, this is one of the initialized AI model to find how likely your app is to be exploited in next 30 days. Then we have the workspace name available in which your workspace lies, in which your application lies. Then we have the last scan. So this is my application is running in the prod environment. So scan happens on the daily basis. So its last scan is today. Then we have the CV count. You can hover on that to find the severity of the CVs with the count. Right now I have 2 highs, 4 medium and 11 negligibles. Then we have the links to download the SBOM and CVs into different format. Let me show you a quick download, one SPDX SBOM. Yeah, see it is downloading in the SPDX format. Similarly, you can download in Cyclone DX format for CV as well. If you want to deep dive and want to know some detailed information about your application, you can click on the application. Again, here we have the workspace, in which workspace your app lies. Then if you want to see the version which is running in the prod environment, you can choose the prod one. Or if you want to see the latest version, you can choose the non-prod as well. Again, we have the scan compliance of this application. So this application doesn't have any critical vulnerability, so it is compliant to our policy right now. Then we have the pie chart of this application. Right now I have 17 CVs in this application with the severity and the counts. Then we have the overall exploit probability of the app. So this tells us like how my application is to be exploited overall in the next 30 days. Then we have the CV trend. So whenever new scans happen in future, it may be possible like we can have more CVs or we can have less CVs due to the auto remediation feature. So you can analyze the trend, and here you will also get the commit ID. You can click on the commit ID, and which tells us on which commit you will get how many CVs. Then we have the vulnerability table. Over here we find all the CVs associated with this application. First, we have the CV ID. Then we have the severity of this CV ID. Then we have the exploit probability of this particular CV ID. Then in which package this CV is there, and what is the version of this package, and what is the fixed in version of this package. Right now, it's not available. Then we have a short description of this CV. If you want to more, if you want to know more details about that CV, you can click on this CV. Here you will have the CVE ID, then what is the CVSS score of this particular CVE, and a description for the CVE. And then if you want some more details about the CV, you can always click on this vulnerability database and find more details over there. Then we have the severity of this CVE ID, again the same exploit probability and its EPSS score. Then we have the impacted application. This is one of the great feature I like in the initialize. Like you will find all the application here at this table. You will find all the application in which you have this CV ID available. Then we have the impacted packages, in which package this CV is available, what is the version of this package, and what is the fixed in version. Now let's go back to the previous screen. Here we have the license table. You will find the license ID, license full name, and it is compliant to the license policy or not. Right now, any license which is OSI approved is compliant to our policy. Then how many package we have this license available? Right now, we have this we have two packages in which I have Apache 2.0 is available. Then is this license is OSI approved, and is this license is deprecated or not? And a short description for this URL for this license. And if you want to know more about that particular license, you can click on the license and you will land on this page. Here you have the same license full name, license identifier. Then we have the license description. And again, you want to know more about the license, you can refer to the license URL as well. Then we have the license regulation available. From here, you can mitigate your license and legal risks. We have the license permission, condition, and limitation available over here. Then we have the applications, in which application we have this license available, and in which workspace that application lies. If you want to know in which packages we have this license available, you can click on the view, and you will find all the packages with the version and their type. So this is all about the initialized security dashboard. I think, Shivani, now we can move to Q&A if we have.
Yes, quiz, you can ask your questions. And
Thank you, Shivani. Hello, Vaibhav. How is the scope of potential risks determined once a CVE is identified?
Once a CV is identified, user can go on to this CV detail screen, and user can check the description to know the risk. User can check the severity, exploit probability over here.
Okay, thank you.
uh, what what factors are considered in evaluating the overall exploit probability of an application?
Okay. The exploit probability depends on the two factor, the severity and the severity and the CVSS score of the application. And the overall exploit probability is the highest exploit probability in the application.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can users get insights on which applications and packages are associated with the license?
Yeah, we have the license table available. User can check and find out like on which package we have the license available, and if you want further details, user can always click on this and find out the packages we have.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
Does it provide insights into compliance and legal risk associated with the specific licenses?
Yes, on this license detail screen, we have the license regulation available. User can check out for this the legal risk.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
What criteria are used to determine if the license is compliant? Am I audible? What criteria is used to determine if a license is compliant?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
now
so
yes. So if the license is not OSI approved, that means it will be considered as non-compliant. And the OSI is a globally recognized organization that certifies the open sources license.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is there a specific threshold or number of critical vulnerabilities that determine the non-compliance, or does any single critical vulnerability results in the non-compliance?
If any application has even one critical vulnerability, we will consider it as a non-compliance. Like, even if one critical vulnerability, yeah, we will say
Okay.
non-compliance.
Okay, thank you.
So, what steps are taken to mitigate vulnerabilities identified as a high threat?
Okay. So once we have identified these are the vulnerabilities and these are the CV which causes that vulnerability. So in that scenario, the CVGs could be at the OS level. So if it is OS level, then it will be taken care by the initialized platform itself. And if it is the app level, that means your application code has that CVE, which is got vulnerability. So that means you are supposed to change the fix that code, and then the whole chain will rerun and automatically it will scan again, and that CV will got fixed by you. So this is how we can do it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
What actions can users take if a license is marked as non-compliant?
Hmm. So once the license is marked as non-compliant, now it's up to the user. Either they can stop using that package, or if they want continue using that particular package, in that scenario, what they can do that they can mark as compliant through their operations team only.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Are there specific times or triggers when additional scans are conducted?
At initialized platform, we are doing the scanning on a daily basis. And in the scenario like the trigger one, if you commit something new in your repository, so in that way the supply chain will rerun and it will trigger a scan again. So a single changes you do in your repository and commit the code, it will again trigger the scan. Otherwise we are doing it on a daily basis.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
What does the OSI approval status signify for a license? Like, how is the OSI approval relevant to the users?
So OSI curated the open source definition, which described the minimum standards that a software system needs to meet to be considered as a open source. So therefore, any license that rigorously follows the open source definition can be named as open source license and marked as OSI approved. And why it is so much relevant for the user? Because when we say that a license is OSI approved, that means it got freedom of using it, modifying it, and any further distribution. And then the source code must be available so that the user easily will be able to modify and improve the software. So that's why it is more convenient for a user to use a package which is OSI approved.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
answering the questions.
So that's actually, thank you so much for the.
Over to you, Shivani.
Yeah, we can see comments. People are asking questions.
Okay.
So some are replied by Ratnesh and Sandesh. Okay. So they are replying them. So thank you, Vaibhav, Shweta, Nikita, and Swagata for your valuable insights and for fielding our audience questions. We appreciate everyone's participation in today's informative webinar. For any further questions or assistance, please free to reach out and stay connected for updates on future events. And if you if we don't answer here right now, we will answer in chat for sure. And until next time, have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us.